I'm Dr. Gary Sachs from Sachs Wellness Center, and I'm here with Theresa Schmidt, our nutritional therapist here. And we've been getting together to talk about topics that are current, and I think today we think there's nothing more current than the surge of COVID that's happening right here in our state. So we thought we'd talk about that. Things have gotten heated up again, even though we're all really tired of it.
Very much.
But it's real. So I think you were saying a basic thing, we really ought to talk about vitamin D. We really ought to talk about why that's so important. So
yeah, I really feel like that bears repeating, especially right now. I think people are like, we're so sick of this, and how come it's surging? And even in our area, in our county, it is surging incredibly. So like, we're trying to think of the thought process behind, like, why would that be happening at this point?
Especially because people are thinking the vaccine is going to take over.
Right. Yeah. And so just a quick point on the vaccines. They are not designed to prevent anything, and they're not designed to stop the spread. Right. It's not what they do. They modify your mild to moderate symptoms. That's it. So that being said, what is the better thing you could do for yourself? In my opinion, and I'm allowed to say that, in my opinion, it's making sure that your vitamin D levels are optimal. And when we say optimal, we don't mean 32. We mean 60 to 80 is the best.
I want to just support what you just said about even if you decide to get a vaccine, vitamin D is critical not just for the COVID virus. It's incredibly important for our entire immune system.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. Yeah. It actually affects almost 3,000 of our genes that we know of. Triggers them to work correctly. So it's vital to the way our entire body runs. So it's not just about our immune system, it's about other things. So but to the immune system, and we can look at, if you look at the map like they showed on the news this morning, you know, the East Coast and Michigan are pretty red right now. But we have to remember, we haven't had vitamin D from the sun in 7 months. We are completely, if you're not putting that D in your body purposefully with a supplement, you're getting no D right now. A tanning booth, a good tanning booth would do it too, but a lot of people are reluctant to do that because of their fear of skin cancer.
Yeah, because there are bad effects. Unless it's a really specialized tanning bed.
Yeah. So we really have to be supplementing the D. And then we've had some beautiful days, and people are like, oh, I was out all weekend. I got plenty of D. I'm going to stop taking my D. No, you didn't. You didn't get any D. You're not going to get any D until next week or the week after, actually.
That's when it just starts, really. It's still not at its high peak.
Yeah, and that's like from 12:30 to 12:45. And if you can be out there in short pants and short sleeves to get that much exposure, you might get a little D. So it'll be increasing over the next month till it's full blown, but it's not there yet. You cannot count on it.
And you just get it for that day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. We need a constant supply of D inside of us.
Yeah, it is a fat soluble, so it will store for a little bit. But you can't count on it like over a few days. Even people coming back from spring break, maybe they don't need 5 Cataplex D anymore, but they need 3 or 2, And then as the longer they're back, the more they're going to deplete again because we use it up. So it's really important that we get our D. And I really feel strongly that you can see over where the country's being hit pretty hard are the most depleted of vitamin D right now.
And there have been tests specifically with COVID showing that people that seem to get this and get quite ill have, by percentage, been much lower in their vitamin D levels in their body. So it's not like we want to say, if you don't have D, that's, causing, the number one cause, the only cause of why you might get COVID or any other virus or any other bacteria. But we do want to say, if you want to make yourself as protected as you can't overlook vitamin D.
Yeah.
You just can't be left out.
It's the percentage of people that get very sick and that actually die from COVID are the most depleted in D. The studies show that. I mean, you can pretty much look anywhere. Studies show it. Even I saw a quote yesterday. Dr. Fauci said he takes 9,000 IU of D every day in the winter. So even the people up there that are talking about other things to do, they know to do D themselves.
Yeah.
So it's not just us saying that. But the thing too is to keep in mind that the other problems people have that contribute to how bad COVID is for them are also affected by vitamin D.
It's so critical,
Heart disease, all of that are a big part of that.
Yeah.
So they can help themselves in other ways, not just about protecting themselves from COVID. If they are maximizing vitamin D, it helps with their other problems too. So those are part of it.
So many things like that I mean, we're picking a topic today and trying to say, here's something that'll show you how important vitamin D is. But our bodies are so complex that if you're deficient of anything, particularly if you're deficient of vitamin D, it's going to affect you in many ways.
Sure, yep, exactly. Some things that I do like to mention that get in the way of you utilizing vitamin D and being able to absorb vitamin D. The darker the skin, so the darker your skin, the more difficult it is for the sun to penetrate your skin and make vitamin D out of it. So if you have fairly dark skin in Michigan, you're probably going to need to take vitamin D year round. I'm indoors 5 days out of the week. Michigan has cloudy weekends. I take 5,000 IU of vitamin D every day of the year. So, just thinking about it that way too. And truthfully, the heavier person is, the more fat cells they have, because vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin. The fat cells will take on the vitamin D and store it, and it won't get to the body as easily. So we have to keep those kind of things in mind when we're seeing how much vitamin D do we need to take.
It's an interesting thing too, because think about the people with light skin, especially people that are quite fair. And another thing that gets in the way is that there's the scare of skin cancer. And so then people are using SPF 50, 100, whatever. And really once you get past like SPF 30, you're blocking enough of the D that you might be outside, but you're still not getting the vitamin D.
Zero.
Blocking
That's an excellent point. That's an excellent
so,
point.
There's this delicate balance. If you're somebody that's fair-skinned, the sun is good for you. You just need to monitor it in a way that you're not out there long enough that you get burnt.
Exactly.
That you can, but that way you can slowly get your skin acclimated to the sun, get your vitamin D at the same time. But if you're lathering up, you're just...
Yeah, that's an excellent point. 20 to 30 minutes pre-sunscreen to get out there. And then if you feel like you need to do it after that, do it after that. But you've got to be sunscreen free for 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, the 20 to 30 minutes is like, it's incredible how much vitamin D you can absorb in 20 minutes. I can't remember the statistic.
10 to 20,000.
10 to 20,000. I knew it was a lot.
Yeah, 10 to 20,000. And that's July, August.
Yeah, when
That's
things
July,
are at their
August.
peak.
Yeah.
So,
the last thing I do want to reiterate, actually, because I talk about this a lot, is all this is good. You get your D up good. You get your vitamin C good. You do all the good things. Please don't eat sugar, because once you eat sugar, you turn your immune system down 75 to 90% for 5 hours. So if you do all these good things, and then you eat sugar, and then you go to a gathering or you go around people, your immune system is quite suppressed by that. So please watch the sugar. All forms, doesn't matter. It can be fruit, it can be any form of sugar.
Yeah, so, in excess, it's going to be too much. So, we want to promote being very conscious of getting your vitamin D. We want everybody to be conscious at this point that it isn't the time to forget that COVID is around. If you've gotten your vaccine, please understand you can still be passing it to somebody, and somebody that might be more vulnerable than you are. So we're still saying what everybody else is saying. do the right thing.
Yeah.
Stay social distance, wear your mask, and we'll get past this before too long. But in the meantime, make yourself stronger by getting your vitamin D. So if you have questions for us, or you would like to come see one of us for specific testing, please give us a call at 989-732-7000. You can also make contact through our website at www.sacswellnesscenter.com.